happens if you die out your time? You disappear. As if you never were.
Or maybe you explode into tiny bits.
Huh?
But I don't intend to find out. Just keep breathing.
How are we both?
Good, Tatiana.
Good. Very good. Not distracted by your background in any way.
I apologize. Richard, how do you think right now Roger feels about being separated from Brianna this time around? I know he says in the episode, like, I can't look at my wife, and my wife will look me in the eye if I don't bring back our son. But how is he processing being in this new time period?
I don't think he's necessarily dwelling on the fact that he's separated from Brianna. He's on a mission. I think he's very determined to find resolve in that. And he's with Buck. They've got an objective. And I think that's essentially what he's thinking about. I don't think he's dwelling too much that he's separated from his wife. They've spent time apart. They can function, as I think we get to see, perfectly well without each other.
But how confident do you think that he feels about being able to find Jemmy?
I don't think he has a choice. I think when Buck and Roger set off, I think they have something to do and they're going to do it. There isn't an alternative. And I think when he says that I can't look my wife in the face, I think he's not entertaining the idea of failing. I mean, obviously we get to see moments where we think that might start to break down and there's, some drama created through that. But yeah, I think he's very forward thinking on this side quest, which I love, with Buck.
Speaking of Buck, Diarmaid, you get a really fun moment where, like, we as the audience are getting to see Geillis and Dougal again, but you are seeing your parental units in a very different light. Can you talk about that?
I can. I get to see my parental units in a light that no child should ever see their parental units, which is glint in the eye and the moments leading up to one's arrival in this world. And yeah, it was a very fun one to play because Roger has the knowledge of who they are and who their child is. Buck doesn't. But so it was a fun one to play of just particles in the air moving and kind of electrons charging and like, why am I sick to my stomach? Am I curious? What is happening in this room? But it was a lot of fun to play and very conflicting for poor old Buck.
You both get to bring back the, romance, buddy cop element to the show by being on this side quest mission together. Did you have a favorite moment on set, or was there any way that you kind of got to delve into what this dynamic is becoming more?
Well, one of my favorite moments is probably when we woke up at the Stones. Roger's kind of upside down, disoriented, talking to a beetle, I think. And Roger's Buck's over on the other side, basically having a heart attack. That whole little. I think we found a nice balance of sort of humour and seriousness there between the two of us, that you could see where this relationship was possibly going to go in terms of its entertainment value of humour and drama. I like that a lot. And I think that was the day we arrived there and we're in the scene, we're like, oh, have we made it? And we're like, yeah, we're back in the right time. And again, an RAF jet screams past in the background in one of the takes. Must see if I can get a hold of that just to see, because it's
we've seen it on some blooper reels and things, but that has to go bigger. But to your question, Tatiana, I think there was a great shorthand, I think, developed between myself and Richard as actors, which I think really bled into and informed the scenes between Buck and Roger. They're working through this impossible needle in a haystack situation together, and they are Mackenzies. They're passionate men. They have flares of temper and they have their own little kind of glib observations here, there and everywhere. But as they become more comfortable with each other and bonded to each other and trust each other more, because that is a big thing, given where their relationship began with the noose around poor Roger's neck, courtesy of good old cousin Buck. Yeah, they are rebuilding from a low bar, but I think it is a very fruitful and enjoyable one for the audience.
It has been enjoyable for me thus far, so thank you both so much.
Thanks.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
How many of you know what walking songs are?
It's what the women would sing, all working together, needing the wet wool to make it waterproof.
Exactly. That kind of thing shouldn't be lost, should it?